4 tips for selecting a DC motor or gear motor for any application. There are a few things to consider when it comes to the motor selection process. We all know that DC motors convert electrical energy into mechanical energy, but there are a lot of options to choose from. The motor selection process can be daunting. We are here to help get you focused and headed in the right direction with our 4 motor selection tips. Tip number 1. Determine your voltage, speed, and torque. These are the 3 main specifications you will need to know for any DC motor application. Motor voltage will be determined by your electrical power source, typically a battery or power supply. Most motors come in 12-volt or 24-volt DC, but can be made to operate at anywhere from 1 volt to 48 volts. Rotational speed is important for any motion control application. The on-load speed is how fast the motor will operate once a load is applied. It is also important to know what your maximum speed will be and factor in how close to peak efficiency it is. The last specification you will need to determine is torque. Motor torque is the amount of load the motor's output shaft can overcome at a given point. The torque and speed of a motor are directly related to one another. As one increases, the other decreases. The on-load torque needs to be defined just like the speed. Another detail to factor in is the motor's stall torque. Tip number 2. Balance size and performance. Proper motor size is important for every application. Typically, larger motors are more powerful than their smaller counterparts. Depending on your size constraints, you may have to sacrifice certain performance aspects to accommodate. By utilizing different types of motors and motor technologies, like brushed, brushless, stepper, and coreless motors, you can maximize your performance for the size available. Tip number 3. Gear motors provide more torque. Sometimes you need more torque than it is physically possible to get out of the standard DC motor. Utilizing a gear motor will result in increased torque and reduced speed, which is all dependent on the gear ratio that is used. There are 3 main types of gear motors: spur, planetary, and worm gear motors. They each have their advantages and use cases. You can learn more about them on our website. Tip number 4. Define your duty cycle. Your duty cycle will dictate which motor type is best for your application or device. Operating times and dwell times, as well as directional rotation, are key aspects of your duty cycle. The duty cycle should be defined at the beginning of the motor selection process. Intermittent duty cycles are encouraged for most industrial applications to help extend the useful life of a motor or gear motor. Continuous use is still acceptable, but you need to make sure the motor is operating at its peak efficiency. Now that you are well informed about the different aspects of DC motors, you are better prepared to start your motor selection journey. Remember, the 4 tips are: determine your voltage, speed, and torque. Balance size and performance. Gear motors provide more torque. Define your duty cycle. As world-leading DC motor and gear motor design experts, we are here to get your next project into motion. Try our motor component database. Just select your specs and find motors that meet your requirements instantaneously. Check it out at the link below. Our team of dedicated application engineers are also available and can assist you with any questions you may have. Just use our live chat or give us a call. Follow us for more engineering insight.